Final question, which types of companies are you investing in now and why? And if you want to give the odd example, please do go ahead and do so. I'm going to ask that question to Chris first.
Very much in line with what we've been discussing. Increasingly, we are targeting those investments where we can see the potential for a real positive impact, whether that be environmentally or socially. We've got a number of examples in healthcare, targeted. I would point to a particular business that I like that addresses a massive environmental pollution issue, and that would be a company called Scietta Group. It's a manufacturer has developed an electric motor based on axial flux technology, and these are very small, very easy to retrofit, and the target market is the vast number of polluting scooters in the developing economies around the world, especially in Far East Asia, where if you want to get about, you pretty much hop on a tuk-tuk or a scooter. And of course, they're not environmentally friendly at all. They're using fossil fuels. They're sending a lot of emissions into the local cities, and those pollutants are very difficult to disperse. At a low cost, highly reliable, durable solution to this is the electric motor, and this is a new business. Effectively, it has been spending a lot of money in terms of developing the product. The product is now ready for mass manufacturing, and they are about to sign up all sorts of high volume contracts with major multinational companies to help roll this out. And what they're not going to be doing is building huge manufacturing plants, because they're going to use existing manufacturing plants and outsource that manufacturing, so that actually they're not enlarging their carbon footprint. But pretty soon, I think most of those scooters out there will be battery powered and using electric motors. And this is a business that's beautifully placed to help not only solve a problem, but to grow rapidly. And they're recruiting at a vigorous rate in the UK for engineers and specialists across different departments within the business. Exciting times for them, but a real privilege for us to be involved at an early stage and to see how successful they turn out to be.
What a great business. How exciting, and a sustainable solution to those scooters. I love it. Okay, Malcolm, which types of companies are you investing in now and why?
We invest as a team in about 25 to 35 new investments each year, and we do so across 5 core themes. So fintech, deep tech, health, consumer, and B2B software. And so those teams are tasked with finding the most pioneering founders who are solving large, which we call billion-dollar problems, and using technology to drive rapid change. So they all have that in common. And then essentially each pod essentially creates 3 to 5 new investments a year. So within fintech, pulling an example, we invest in a business called Happy Plan, which was a tool to help parents, family, and friends invest for their child's future. So essentially helping them to develop a nest egg much earlier in their life. In the deep tech pod, we invest in a business called CoMind, which is a non-invasive computer brain interface. It sounds very scary, but what it enables you to do is control a computer with your brain. So it's essentially the future of just being limited to your 2 thumbs. You can actually unlock a lot more power there. And then on the health side, we invested in a business called Mindset, which is an app focused on screening and preventing dementia. So they measure all sorts of different cognitive impairment, anxiety, depression, and they help drive early diagnosis of the condition and hopefully allow you to put some treatment in place, or at least to manage it going forward. So you see, they're all very different types of businesses, but hopefully achieving progress in different vectors.
Very different businesses, but so important, particularly that early diagnosis of dementia. So many of us are going to get it. Bevan, which types of companies are you investing in now and why?
So we are sector and thematic focused investors. So where we're looking to deploy capital is sectors where we think we've got sort of in-depth expertise, really strong talent networks and track record. And where that sort of intersects with sort of long-term structural growth trends in the economy, which we think will give our businesses a sort of natural tailwind. So, putting money into markets that we know really well that are going to continue to grow now, but also over the sort of next 10 years. So, clearly the shift to e-commerce has been significant, through COVID, but there's been a structural change in the way that consumers sort of buy and operate. So that e-commerce trend is going to continue. So we actually haven't invested in as many consumer brands or e-commerce brands. What we've done is we've actually invested higher up the value chain. So in software businesses, one called Scurry that provides logistics solutions to e-commerce providers. So the biggest complaint that e-commerce retailers get is, delivery is not coming on time and the returns process not being efficient. This business solves that problem for them. Another business called Patchworks, which looks to stitch together the multiple different products that an e-commerce business uses, from CRM to sort of website management, warehouse management. So there's a really quite fragmented sort of set of software solutions that a business that's growing quickly utilizes, and Patchwork brings that all together. And that enables us really to build ecosystems in those markets, which we think means that we can bring more value to the companies that we're backing and can help sort of accelerate their growth.